In the last video, we created the bonus column using a nested if function. Our next column is going to be the health insurance cost column here in column R. And that cost is based on the type of insurance plan the employee elects. So you can see as you look down this column, there are several different types of insurance plans. And so for this particular activity, we're going to use a VLOOKUP function. And when you use a VLOOKUP function, you have to have a lookup table to use with it. And so as you can see here on the lookup tables worksheet, there is a lookup table for the different types of insurance plans. And so that's part of the VLOOKUP function. So let's switch for just a minute here to PowerPoint and take a look at some information about using lookup tables and functions. So the lookup function allows you to look up a value and insert it in another worksheet location. So the lookup function is going to take that insurance plan from the insurance plan column, compare it to the information in the lookup table, and pull the correct data from the lookup table and put it in our employee data worksheet. So, as I said before, you have to have a lookup table in order to use a lookup function. And the lookup tables are used to store the data and organize it into categories. And they can be constructed either so that you have to have an exact match or an approximate match. The lookup values, the value you're trying to find, will have to match one of the compare values, one of the values in the lookup table. And they can be used as part of a formula, as we'll see. So the VLOOKUP function searches the lookup table based on what you've entered and retrieves the appropriate value from that table. And the way it does that is it searches vertically. The V in VLOOKUP stands for vertical. Searches vertically down the first column of the lookup table. And if you can remember back to the little table we just looked at, the first column was the acronym for the health insurance plan. So here's the syntax for the VLOOKUP function. The first part, or the first argument, is the lookup value, which is the item it's the insurance plan that the employee has elected in our employee data worksheet, for example. The table array refers to the lookup table where the data that you need is stored. The column index number refers to the column where the information that you want to pull from the lookup table is stored. And the last argument, range lookup, refers to whether you want an exact match or an approximate match. So here's what our lookup function is going to end up looking like when we enter it into the dialog box. So the lookup value here can be found in cell L2, which is the health plan code for the employee in row 2. The table array is the table where the data that we want to look up is stored. The column index number is the column in the health plan rates table that stores the monthly cost for that plan. And false, the range lookup, makes the function an exact match lookup. And this argument is optional, as you can see. So let's go ahead and go to the workbook and go through this process of building the VLOOKUP function. So I'm first of all going to enter the column heading Health Cost in column R, and then in cell R2 I'm going to go ahead and insert a function, and up here you can just type lookup and it will bring up the list of the lookup functions. I just used the VLOOKUP, so mine happens to be in my list here. Okay, so there's that dialog box we were just looking at. So here's the column where the lookup values are. It's the column that states which health plan the employee has chosen. So I'm going to enter L2 as the lookup value. That's the cell where the first employee health plan is stored. Now the table array is that little table that we looked at before I went to the PowerPoint presentation, and it is called Health Plan Rates. And if you'll remember, Excel tables do not have spaces in their names, so don't put any spaces in there. And in the Health Plan Rates table, the rates are stored in column 2, so I'm going to put a 2 there. And I want an exact match, so I'm going to type the word false in all caps. So I'm finished with my function arguments here, and I'm getting an answer, so that's a good thing. So I'm going to click OK, and there my function has filled all the way down, and I can see that the employees who have chosen none are not getting an amount here in their health plan column. And if I want to check, my first employee elected the HMOF. I can go to the lookup tables and I see that the monthly premium for that is $1,500. So that's the monthly premium. We need to calculate the annual health cost. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on R2, and up here in the formula bar I'm going to multiply that VLOOKUP function by 12. So I'm just going to put in my multiplication operator and the number 12 and then enter, and that calculates the yearly health insurance cost for each employee. So that is an exact match VLOOKUP function.